Have you ever noticed that the moment you decide to change your reality, instead of feeling instantly free or elevated, you often feel wrong, heavy, doubtful, uncertain, almost as if the universe is pushing back against you? Most people misinterpret this as a sign that their manifestation isn't working. They think, if this feels so uncomfortable, maybe I'm not aligned. Maybe I should stop. But what if I told you that this exact discomfort is not the sign of failure, but the signal of success? In neuroscience, Dr. Joe Dispenza describes how your brain and body are addicted to familiar emotional states. Stress, fear, frustration, they create chemical feedback loops that your nervous system has rehearsed for years. When you begin to declare something new like, I am abundant or I am free, your subconscious isn't just neutral about it. It fights back. Your cells literally crave the old chemistry. And so in that moment of saying, I choose a new reality, your body screams, this feels wrong, not because it is wrong, but because it's unfamiliar. Quantum physics mirrors this paradox. Before an electron collapses into a new position, it exists in a superposition of possibilities. That transition is unstable, uncertain. The wave is everywhere and nowhere at once. Physicist Niels Bohr called it the quantum leap, where the electron doesn't slide smoothly into the new orbit. It disappears from the old and instantaneously appears in the new. But in the brief moment in between, it is nowhere your eyes can track. That invisible transition, that void, is exactly where your manifestation begins. This is why the discomfort shows up first. You are literally in the in-between, no longer resonating fully with the old reality, but not yet stabilized in the new. Your mind interprets this void as danger, but spiritually, mystics like Neville Goddard and Florence Scovel Shinn remind us, feeling is the secret. When you step into a new identity, the first sensations are often chaos and resistance, because your vibration is ahead of your physical proof. The wrong feeling is simply your old identity dying. Think about it. Every major breakthrough in your life probably came after a season of unease. Moving to a new city, starting a relationship, leaving a job. Your rational mind wanted security, but your soul wanted expansion. That expansion always felt uncomfortable first. Quantum manifestation is no different. So, if you're watching this and you feel that strange heaviness after declaring your desires, pause, breathe, reframe. You are not failing. You are crossing the threshold. The unease is evidence that the field has already begun to reorganize around your new frequency, just like a storm clears the atmosphere for a brighter sky. This resistance is clearing your nervous system of old patterns so you can embody the new. Stay with me, because in this video we'll uncover why your discomfort is proof that your manifestation is working, how the quantum field encodes this process, and how you can ride through the turbulence instead of abandoning the leap. When you hear the words quantum manifestation, most people imagine thought and intention. They think it's only about the mind. But here's the truth. Your body is just as important as your mind, maybe even more. Because your nervous system is the antenna through which you broadcast into the field. If the mind says, I am abundant, but the body is still vibrating in fear, lack, or tension, then the signal being sent to the quantum field is scrambled. Dr. Joe Dispenza has shown in his research, particularly in Becoming Supernatural, that the nervous system has the capacity to rewire itself through meditation, breathwork, and focused intention. Heart rate variability studies, EEG brain scans, and even immune system shifts prove that when people regulate their nervous system into coherence, the external world begins to mirror that inner state. Why? Because in the quantum field, resonance rules. The body must be in harmony with the mind for the field to respond consistently. This is not mystical poetry, it's physics. In quantum mechanics, coherence is the phenomenon where particles, whether photons in a laser or neurons in your brain, align into a unified pattern. When that happens, their influence is not linear but exponential. A laser beam is simply light that's coherent. It can cut through steel. But when light is incoherent, it scatters, loses power, and dissolves into the background. Your nervous system is the same. A dysregulated body, flooded with stress chemistry, is like scattered light, unfocused, weak, unable to collapse new realities. But a regulated nervous system, breathing slowly, resting in coherence, becomes a laser. And that laser cuts a new path into the quantum field. Ancient traditions have always known this truth. Yogis used pranayama to regulate the nervous system before deep meditation. Taoist sages taught that calm energy is the bridge to higher dimensions. Even Jesus hinted at this when he said, "Peace, be still," not as a passive state, but as the condition for miracles. Modern neuroscience is only now catching up to what mystics have embodied for millennia. So, when discomfort arises during manifestation, it's not just a mental battle, it's a nervous system signal. Your body is asking, will you keep me trapped in the old chemistry of survival, or will you train me to feel safe in the unknown? Because here's the paradox. The unknown is where the new exists. If your body only feels safe in the familiar, then you'll never manifest beyond your past. That's why practices like heart coherence breathing, which Joe Dispenza has popularized, are so powerful. When you slow your breath, place awareness in your heart, and generate feelings of gratitude or joy, even before anything has changed, you're teaching your nervous system that the unknown is safe. You're hacking predictive coding in the brain, saying, yes, I know the past is familiar, but the future can feel good too. And the moment the body learns to relax into that state, the field responds. Think of it like tuning a radio. Your mind is the DJ picking the song, but your body is the antenna. If the antenna is bent, rusty, or shaking in interference, the signal is distorted. But when it's straight and aligned, the station comes through clearly, and the song plays loud. The nervous system is that antenna. And if you want the quantum field to play your chosen reality, you must tune the body to coherence. This is the hidden key most people miss. They try to manifest only through affirmations and thoughts, but their body is still screaming with stress. The quantum field doesn't listen to words, it listens to frequency. And frequency is broadcast not only by thought, but by the electrochemical state of your entire nervous system. So here's the shift. Don't just think your new reality. Teach your body how it feels to live there, because when thought and body finally agree, you don't just send a wish into the quantum, you become the signal. Let's get very real here. The biggest block to quantum manifestation is not that you don't want it enough or that you're thinking the wrong thoughts. The real block is stress chemistry, because the moment your nervous system is locked in survival mode, you are chemically programmed to repeat the past. When cortisol and adrenaline flood your body, your brain narrows its focus. This is a biological gift when you're running from a predator, but it's a curse when you're trying to create a new life. Why? Because stress locks you into cause and effect thinking. You start to believe that only by hustling harder, pushing more, controlling everything can you get what you want. But manifestation is not cause and effect. Manifestation is causal coherence. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains it this way. The body becomes addicted to the emotions of the past. Just like a drug, the cells crave familiar chemistry. Fear, worry, doubt, anger, they all release powerful neurochemicals. The body doesn't care that they keep you stuck. It just wants its fix. So even when the mind sets a new intention, the body drags you back into old cycles, replaying emotions that align with your shadow reality instead of your desired one. Here's where quantum mechanics provides the breakthrough. According to physicists like David Bohm and John Wheeler, the universe is not built from matter first, but from fields of information. Matter emerges from coherence within those fields. Stress shatters coherence. Imagine water boiling chaotically, molecules thrashing everywhere, no form, no clarity. That's your energy field when you're stressed. Now imagine water freezing into a crystal. Every molecule aligned, repeating a perfect structure. That's coherence. That's when your nervous system shifts from survival to creation. Neuroscience has confirmed this too. Studies on heart-brain coherence show that when your heart rhythms stabilize into a smooth, ordered pattern, your brain waves also synchronize. This is measurable in real time with HRV monitors and EEG scans. People in this state don't just feel better. Their immune systems strengthen, their perception sharpens. And yes, they report synchronicities, breakthroughs, and manifestations with far greater frequency. But here's the paradox. Most people wait for their external reality to give them a reason to feel calm, safe, or abundant. They say, "I'll relax once I have the money," or "I'll trust once the opportunity arrives." The quantum doesn't work like that. The field responds to the frequency you broadcast before the evidence appears. Stress says, "I don't trust." Coherence says, "It's already done." And the field always mirrors back the dominant signal. Ancient wisdom backs this up. In Buddhist practice, equanimity, the ability to remain centered regardless of circumstances, is considered a superpower. The Taoists spoke of Wu Wei, effortless alignment, where action flows from inner coherence. And in Christian mysticism, peace is described as the presence that surpasses understanding, not because it ignores reality, but because it creates new reality. So let's connect the dots. Stress chemistry, incoherent frequency, repeating the past, nervous system coherence, stable frequency, collapsing new realities. This is why Joe Dispenza's meditations are structured to shift the nervous system first, slowing the breath, expanding awareness, generating gratitude, before moving into visualization. He knows that unless the body is regulated, the quantum field will only hear static. Think of it this way. Manifestation is not about overcoming the universe. It's about overcoming the body's addiction to the past. Once you do that, the field has no choice but to reorganize around your new frequency. Because coherence doesn't just influence reality, coherence commands it. And the best news? This isn't about years of effort. Your nervous system can shift in minutes. Just a few cycles of heart-focused breathing can take you out of stress and into creation. That's how fast the body responds. That's how close you always are to your quantum leap. Now that you understand why stress chemistry blocks quantum manifestation, let's flip the script. How do you reset your nervous system so that it becomes a portal for creation, not a prison of repetition? The answer is deceptively simple: coherence practices. These aren't rituals to calm down. They are direct ways of signaling to the field, "I am aligned, I am ready, I am available for my new reality." Step 1 is breath. Not just any breath, but heart-centered, rhythmic breathing. Neuroscience has shown that when you breathe slowly and evenly, about 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, your vagus nerve activates. This immediately lowers stress hormones and stabilizes your heart rate variability. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls this shifting from survival to creation. In survival, the body is preparing to fight the past or defend against the future. In creation, the body is finally in the present, and the present is the only place the quantum field responds to. Step 2 is elevated emotion. Gratitude, love, awe, compassion. These are not nice feelings. They are electromagnetic signals. Researchers at HeartMath Institute have demonstrated that when people generate coherent heart rhythms through gratitude and compassion, their electromagnetic fields expand and synchronize with their brainwaves. In that moment, you are literally broadcasting a stronger, clearer frequency into the quantum field. The elevated emotion becomes the carrier wave of your intention. Without it, thought is just static. With it, thought becomes a laser beam that collapses reality. Step 3 is embodiment. You don't wait for your new reality to appear to feel it. You teach your body to feel it first. If your quantum shift involves abundance, you let your body feel financially secure now. If it's health, you let your cells feel vitality now. This is where Joe Dispenza's as-if principle comes alive. Acting as if it's already true, not through fake affirmations, but through nervous system training. When your body believes, the field follows. But here's the key. You don't need hours of meditation to do this. Micro practices throughout the day are more powerful than one massive effort once in a while. Why? Because consistency entrains the nervous system. It tells your cells over and over, this is our new normal. And when coherence becomes your baseline, manifestation stops being an event. It becomes a lifestyle. This is why some people seem to live in perpetual flow, while others struggle. It's not luck, it's coherence. They've trained their nervous system to stay in alignment longer than it dips into stress. That's it. That's the whole difference. So let me ask you, are you willing to stop rehearsing stress and start rehearsing coherence? Because every time you practice calm, gratitude, and embodied wholeness, you are rehearsing your future. You are conditioning your body to trust a reality that your mind has not yet seen. And when that happens, the quantum field has no choice but to deliver it. Here's what I want you to do right now to anchor this message. Write in the comments, I reset my nervous system into coherence. This isn't just an affirmation, it's a declaration to yourself and to the field. By writing it, you reinforce the choice at the level of mind, body, and energy. It's your signal that you're done looping the past and ready to step fully into creation. Because remember, you're not waiting for reality to calm you. You are calming yourself to command reality. And that's where the real shift begins. There is always a gap, the invisible space between who you were and who you are becoming. And for most people, this gap feels unbearable. You've done the breathing. You've practiced gratitude. You've aligned with coherence. But on the outside, nothing seems to have changed yet. This is where most people give up. They interpret the lack of external evidence as failure. But here's the paradox. The absence of evidence is often the clearest evidence that the shift is already in motion. In neuroscience, there's something called neuroplastic delay. When you install a new thought pattern, your brain doesn't instantly rewire. The synapses need repetition to strengthen. The neurons need to fire together long enough to wire together. During this phase, it feels like nothing is happening. But in truth, your brain is literally pruning away the old connections and building the new. It's invisible progress. In quantum mechanics, this gap is explained through superposition. A particle exists in multiple states at once until it is observed. When you enter coherence, your desired reality is already in superposition. It exists alongside your old one. The lack of external confirmation is not absence, but choice. Which timeline will you stabilize? Will you collapse the old because it feels safer? Or will you hold your vibration long enough for the new to emerge? This is the razor's edge where most people lose alignment. But if you endure the ambiguity, you step into the extraordinary. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't see anything above the soil for weeks. The casual observer might say, it's not working. But underground, the seed is splitting, rooting, anchoring itself so that one day it can break through. The most important transformation happens before it is visible. The nervous system reset you are practicing is the rooting process. The external manifestation is simply the sprout. This is why patience in the quantum field is not passive. It's active coherence. Every time you choose not to check the soil, not to dig up the seed, not to declare it didn't work, you are aligning with the intelligence of the field. You are saying, I trust the process. And trust is not waiting politely. Trust is the vibration that collapses reality faster than any forced effort could. Bruce Lipton once said, your subconscious is a tape recorder that plays 95% of the time. When you step into coherence, you are overwriting that tape. But just like any recording, it takes time to finalize. What you experience as delay is actually the quantum field syncing your inner state with outer conditions. The signal has been sent. The response is inevitable. Here's the secret most people never hear. When nothing seems to be happening, that's when the most is happening. Silence is not emptiness. It is incubation. The calm you feel, the spaciousness you create, is the prelude to collapse. And if you can learn to love this stage, to cherish the unseen as much as the seen, you will no longer ride the highs and lows of manifestation. You will rest in the knowing that reality is already catching up to your vibration. So right now, if you feel you're in between, let me reassure you, you are not stuck. You are not blocked. You are aligning. The evidence you seek is already seated in the field. The nervous system you are resetting is already broadcasting safety, coherence, and abundance. All that remains is the patience to let the sprout break through. When you understand this, the need for proof dissolves. You don't demand to see, you simply know. And that knowing is the frequency the universe cannot resist. Take a breath with me for a moment. Feel your chest rise and fall. That simple act, awareness of breath, is proof that you are not separate from the quantum field. You are the bridge, you are the interface, and now you know. Manifestation is not about trying harder, but about tuning deeper. The nervous system you carry is not just a biological structure, it is your antenna, your receiver, your transmitter. When it is dysregulated, it broadcasts fear, lack, and fragmentation. But when it is reset into coherence, it opens a portal, and through that portal flows everything you've been seeking. Joe Dispenza often reminds us that the body is the unconscious mind. Every thought that lingers becomes chemistry. Every emotion repeated becomes a program. For most people, their nervous system is stuck in a survival loop, reliving old realities over and over again. But when you choose coherence, when you choose to breathe, to center, to regulate, you are breaking that loop. You are signaling to the field, I am ready for something new. And the field always responds. This is the true reset. Not just calming your anxiety, but recalibrating your entire frequency so that abundance, love, and possibility are no longer things you chase, but things you magnetize. When you live from coherence, synchronicities multiply. Opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere. People show up exactly when you need them. Not because you're lucky, but because your signal is finally clear. Here's the most liberating part. You don't need to do more. You don't need to force anything. The reset has already begun. Your role now is simply to sustain it, to return again and again to the state of alignment until it becomes your new baseline. When coherence becomes your default, manifestation becomes effortless. And if this message resonated with you, if you felt something move in your body, that's not an accident. That's resonance. It means your field is ready for a deeper activation. That's why I created something special for this community, an ebook called Awaken Your Quantum Power, a guide to the 7 principles that activate your vibrational field with clarity, precision, and coherence. This is for those who are ready to stop forcing outcomes and instead stabilize the frequency that naturally draws them in. You'll find the link in the pinned comment below. As you close this video, remember, you are not just a person trying to manifest. You are the field itself, experiencing its own infinite potential through you. Your nervous system is not a limitation. It is the portal, and now you know how to open it. So walk into your day with this knowing. The reset has begun. You are already broadcasting. You are already collapsing reality. And every breath you take in coherence is proof that miracles are not coming. They are here. Until we meet again, stay aligned, stay aware, and above all, stay in coherence.